Sounds
got a
good.
full session today, so I can't, I don't want to start too late. So yeah, so it's on the personal branding. How did you come along with the purpose statement? Do you get any more thought to it? Do you have any more thought to it?
So, you said for, to get a better grasp of what to write, ask, I don't know, family members, close friends on like, what's like, how do you see me? Like, what are my strong suits? Like, what are my strong points and stuff like that.
Right.
Well, I asked my mother, and I think it's best to not ask parents and, because they'll just tell you like the things you want to hear and not necessarily stuff that is true.
Right.
So I'm gonna see my sister
Okay.
Saturday, so I'm gonna talk to her.
Yeah.
I think she'll give me a better perspective because she's more honest. But overall, I know, like, I get the idea of a purpose statement now. Like, I get what needs to go in there. I just have to, I have a lot of things in my head. I just have to bring them all together and put them in.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just got a message from Ross. He said he's going to call in because he's traveling right now. So he'll probably jump on in a minute. So tell me what you got so far in terms of your purpose statement. Like, give me the review of that.
So okay. So because I think it's Mark, yeah, who had a design or something hobby, like it was a graphic design hobby, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah. So I think I also want to incorporate like my hobbies and what I like, and like
remember, this is an overarching statement. So we're going to get to that in your vision and your goals and the passions and everything else like that. So it's got to be generic enough where it's not, it's kind of, this is like the overarching, like, why am I here? And you're probably not here to do graphic design. I mean, that could be a passion, and that's, but your purpose in life might be to be, express your creativity, or to take other people's ideas and be able to express them creatively. Like, that's what you do, right? And it's like, you might be able to do it in graphic design, might be able to do it as a teacher. There might be multiple places where you plug that in, but overall, it's like kind of like, this is your why.
So how would I go about, because like my why, like as far as like I've realized and understood till now, is helping others and always assisting.
Yeah.
So how could, but that's so generic, like how
it
would
is
I
generic. So like in what way? So
that?
How do you help people? That's the key, right? It's like, do you help them like get enlightened and educated, or do you help them physically? Do you help them emotionally? Do you help them spiritually? Like, what?
I would say advice wise, like if they're stuck like mentally, or if they're stuck on a problem, like giving them ideas and advice and other options. Or more off, because when you're stuck, like you can't think outside the box, like you're just stuck on that problem. So with another person's perspective on like, but have you tried this, or you could do that, like advice wise, helping people in that sense. And a lot more, but that's what's in my mind now.
Got it. Okay, so go there. Like what do people come to you for advice for?
It's just, I'm a good listener, and I'm very truthful. Like, I don't sugarcoat things. Like, I'll tell you what you don't want to hear, but you need to hear.
So there we go. So I would say, use words that you just said, like truth or authenticity or authentic, clarity, that kind of stuff. So that's now you're honing in on it, right?
Yeah.
So you're not necessarily here to help people, make their houses more aesthetically beautiful. I mean, that's totally different than what you do. See, but we both would be helping people.
Yeah. I guess more on an emotional side of things.
So here's my suggestion. Talk it out with somebody and like have them write the words down that you're saying. And start to see which words really resonate, because what we're trying to do is capture a concept in a very small, unfortunately, our language is like 40,000 words, and we only use like 5,000 or 10,000 on a daily basis. So you're trying to capture something really great and grand in this little set of words that we have. So do the best you can and talk this through with somebody. Find the words that you're saying, write them down, and then like see if you can't like play, like you mix and match with the words. I mean, you can literally write them on posters and stuff, move them around like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey Ross, how you doing? Are you there?
I just landed into JFK.
Oh, no worries. Good for you. I'm glad you landed. All right, so Ross, I know you can't see the stuff, so I'll talk it through the best I can. And we were just, I was just talking to Kazer about his purpose statement. Do you have any updates on yours? Anything you want to share? Any questions? Ross, can you hear me?
I didn't realize we were meeting again on Thursday, so I was packing and traveling yesterday. I did a red eye, so
no worries, man.
Update.
Yeah, that's cool. So if you just want to listen along, and then this will be recorded. You can
I think I'll just listen along. Yeah.
Okay, cool, man. And if you would just mute until you have something to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on mute right now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right, so we're just finishing up with the purpose statement from last week, right? And we're just going over, and I'm gonna share my screen real fast. Just one last thing to do with this, and for those of you who watch the recording later or are listening, Ross, I want you to do what I just said with Kazer. I want you to think about the words that really resonate with you. Like, talk this through with somebody. Start with what you have now and talk it through. Say, hey, here's my purpose statement. So let's go back to one up here. So mine would be, my computer is very slow. Mine is, I lead people through darkness into their personal truths by teaching them to connect with their higher self so they can live a life with more ease and flow. So now I'm talking to somebody and I say, hey, this is my purpose statement, and I lead, and they say, well, what is darkness, man? And well, darkness could be, they're not living truthfully, or they're feeling confused. And so I might take all these words that I tell somebody else, and then like insert different words in there and just kind of evolve it. And again, you don't want to be so specific that it's like, oh, here's the role that I'm meant to play. That's not your purpose, because there are many roles you can play on this earth, right? The purpose is like, it is to help other people. I think all of our purposes are to that, to understand how we help them, or help the planet, or help the animals, or help the environment. Like there are different, versions of purpose, but like it is not so specific. Like, I'm going to be a forest ranger, right? Because that'll be a passion or a vision or a goal, and we'll get into that. But the purpose is like, I'm here to nurture and protect Mother Earth so that it can reestablish itself or thrive. So that would be a purpose, right? That's a higher truth. And you could do multiple things in that. Well, I could be a forest ranger, I could be a marine biologist, I could be a researcher on, wildlife or whatever else like that. And so basically the purpose things can fit under. It's the umbrella term. And so to finish that off, this is the way you want to test it. And I want to, once you get to a point where you feel like it's really the why, what's leading you, is start to look at the decisions you've made in your life, say in the last 5 years, that are aligned with your purpose. And then how do you know? And then what decisions do you think that are out of alignment with your purpose, that you did them for maybe the wrong reasons, status or money, or just because somebody told you you should do that. And how do you know? And I will tell you, the decisions and actions that are in line with your purpose will feel really in flow, like the doors just open and it's just like you're there, right? And the ones that don't will be the ones that like there's always something like stopping you, or taking extra time or whatever else like that. So it's a good test to see like your recent history decisions on how they flow under your purpose. Okay. So any more questions about that, Kazer or Ross?
One question, but it doesn't necessarily have to do what you just talked about. So as far as the purpose statement goes, is this an exercise mainly for us to write our strengths and what we're good at, and then figure out like what our purpose is, to find out like what career path is better for us?
So I'm going to go back to this. So when we define what you love, what you do well, what the world needs, and what you get paid well for, that's what I call your professional purpose, right? That's like when we find the intersection of that, it's going to help to guide you in what career path you should be going, right? Because you'll say, hey, does this career path fit with the purpose? And it'll be pretty clear. Had I done this work 25 years ago, I would have never gotten into media entertainment, delivering content to people, because it's like, yeah, I don't love it. I do it well. The world really doesn't need it, but I get paid well for it. So I got like 2 of the 4 bubbles, and it was really disjointed. It was almost like having 2 flat tires going down the road, right? And had I thought this through, and I said, well, does this fit my purpose? Does this fit my vision? Does this fit my goals? Then it's if you have a check on all those things, then you're in the right place. So that's why we're going through this methodically. We're starting with the top and working our way down and say, okay, what is the guiding factor? And the next thing we're going to do is the passions and then the visions. And then, the other stuff that comes back here. So here's values next, vision, goals, and we'll go in that order.
So you just said, as far as the purpose, you said career purpose. Mm-hmm. So for the purpose statement, should we more focus it on career or just our overall?
Overall. The purpose why you're here, right? Because that's the overarching factor. Jobs will come and go, careers will start and end, but your purpose will remain. It's like when you figure out why you're here, it's really, really reaffirming and it generates confidence, and it'll help you make decisions in all areas of your life, especially your career.
Got it. Yeah, we just wanted to make sure.
It's overarching, right? So that's why if you're thinking, oh, what career should this purpose be aligned to? It's like, hey, what am I meant to do? Because then you can say, well, yeah, maybe it is graphic design because you're helping people to get in touch with like their inner knowing, whatever else like that. And then you can say, yeah, graphic design still does that, but what positions within graphic design would do that? Is there shades of gray? I don't know, right? So it might help you. But again, we'll refine it with the other stuff that we're going to do, namely the passion, the values, the vision, and the goals. And then you'll have a whole set of stuff. So don't try and stuff too much into this. Like, oh, I got to have my goals in there, my values, and my vision. It is just, this is why I'm here. And it's one sentence.
Got it. It's just a starting point.
It is the tip of the pyramid, right? It's the top of the pyramid, and then we're going to build stuff under that, right? So we want to get this kind of right because it's pointing in the wrong direction. And then you set up your values, visions, goals after that. It's going to be like, oh, yeah, but now I go back and fix the purpose. And I got to come back and do this. So if we could get this kind of honed in, it'll be helpful for the other stuff.
Got it.
Okay. Cool. All right. So let's keep working on that. Like I said, talk it through with somebody else. Yeah, not your mom. She give you a very rose-colored glasses assessment.
Yeah, 100%. I was like, you know what? It's better not to continue.
Give somebody with a friend who just gives you the straight dope, man. And it's like, he'll tell you or she'll tell you exactly what's up and what's not. It's like, nah, you're fooling yourself here, man.
I agree.
And use multiple people. Like that's my other suggestion is like, does this fit with how you see me? And actually, you'll have a vision of yourself. They'll have a vision of you. And in between there, that's probably the truth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, cool. All right. So we're going to turn our attentions today to branding. And this is the second set of calls on Thursdays, right? So we're going to go through things like, what is a personal brand? How do I use it? What documents and verbal expressions can I put this in? So today, we're going to just start with a branding statement. And it's kind of like a purpose statement. It's like, what are you all about in your work side? So this is where, because you asked, should it be specific to personal or business or what about? This is kind of like more business, right? So I'm not going to go up to my mom and say, hey, mom, this is my personal brand, although it will help you explain to her what the hell you do.
That's true.
It is not gonna, this is my life's work kind of thing. All right. So why personal brand? One, it clearly articulates what you do, as we just said. It demonstrates how you can add value to somebody else. It helps people to recognize and remember you. Oh, he's the guy who does X, or she's the gal who does Y. It emphasizes your brand promise or the compelling benefit or value that you offer in terms of a problem you can help solve. And really that's what it's all about. Is like, if you think of some of the jingles that are out there for corporate brands, can you think of any off the top of your head?
Well, I'm trying to think of commercials.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 1 second.
Yeah.
What is HR Block's little motto?
Oh, I know you're talking. I can't remember that one.
Let me just Google it quickly because it's a.
Yeah, and I remember Burger King. It's probably before your time because I think they changed it. But it used to be have it your way, right? Because everybody was doing, this is the burger you gotta have it. And they're like, you could customize it here. So their brand was like, hey man, you can customize here. You can have it your way. Or Nike, just do it, right? It's like, like motivation, inspiration.
HR Blocks is get it right.
Get it right.
Or McDonald's even.
Yeah. What is theirs?
It's oh my God, it's such a famous one. How am I drawing a blank?
I don't remember. We should know this, right? You hear it every like 2 days.
It's I'm loving it. Yeah.
I'm loving it. Okay, right. So they're tapping into the emotional side, right?
Yeah.
So they all have like a little spin on like what they want to get across to you, and so you're gonna do the same thing. It's like, what is your brand? You're not all things to all people, right? You don't go to a shoemaker to buy a shirt. You don't go, you don't go to a shirt maker to buy a hamburger, right? So you have a certain thing that you can solve a problem with, and it is all problems, right? I don't have something that makes me look good. I need a shirt. I'm hungry. I need something to eat. That's the problem. They're all problems. So what are the solutions that you bring? So, and the last point here on the slide is it creates a benchmark against which to evaluate what goes in and what stays in your job search collateral and what goes out, right? So it's going to be like, okay, does this fit my brand or doesn't it? And if it doesn't, you just get rid of it, right? So here's a short definition I pulled from Wikipedia. So personal branding is a conscious and intentional effort to create and influence public perception of an individual by positioning them as an authority in their industry, elevating their credibility, and differentiating themselves from the competition to ultimately advance their career, increase their circle of influence, and have a larger impact. So I thought it was pretty good. And it might be one or the other, maybe not all these things, but it is definitely trying to mold perception of who you are and what you do. So your brand explains to others what you do and who you are. It differentiates you from your competition. It promotes what you have to offer. It's a promotional vehicle. It promises what you can do to help solve their problems, and it reminds you of what you're trying to be. So if you forget, you come back to your branding statements. Oh yeah, this is who I am, what I do, and it should align with your purpose and everything else. And it kind of all just fits together. So you think of it as a tagline, a catchphrase, or a slogan about you. All right. So where to use it? You use your LinkedIn profile, obviously, in the about section, in the header. Make sure that everything's aligned in the experience section with your skills. And we'll go over that in a future session. Obviously, in your resume, that top statement is going to be all about your brand. Do you have a question?
No, my question was where would it go into the resume? I knew it was going to go somewhere up top. Just
Yeah. So if I can expand this quickly, it would be up here, right?
Okay.
So there's
what would you name it? Would you title it something?
No, this would be like the underlying theme, or you could even use it in here, right, straight out, and it'd be like, so you have your title and you have your subtitles, and then in here it's like what you're all about, what problems you solve.
Under your introduction, basically, like where your name, email, phone number, and all that.
Right. It's underneath. So what we're gonna do is for you guys is to make sure that we have a short little paragraph that explains exactly who you are and what you do right in the first top part. Why? Top 30% is prime real estate on your resume. It will get read, because we read top to bottom, left to right in the Western world, right? So I'm going to start up there. And if you don't catch my attention right away, I'm probably not going to get very far down your resume. So we're going to have the right words. We're going to have the right problem. We have the right solutions right there, so that I go, oh, wow, that's what I want somebody to say. This is different. This guy sounds like he's interesting, or she, right? Yeah. All right. So it could be there. Let me put this back. All right. And then 4-tier branding statement, which I'll explain explain later. This is the verbal aspect of your pitch. So we're going to have swim lanes and be like, okay, what do you do? What are your key value propositions? And it should tailor to your branding statement. Again, I'll get to all this in a future call, and we're going to dive in and build these for you. Professional dossier. It is a supplement to your resume. It tells me who you are, what you do, how you do it. Great for your branding statement. The skills mind map tells me all the skills that you have to offer. And then a networking brief is like a professional dossier. It tells me what you do as well as what you're looking for next. Right? And we can use this in networking, and it can be used in your interviewing, your networking, and like I said, with your mom. You tell her, this is what I do. And she goes, oh, I finally get it. Right? So the branding statement could be used all over the place.
Got it.
Okay. So we're going to develop today we're going to draft a personal branding statement, right? It is just going to be the core foundations, version 1. We don't get it perfect today, but just want to try and lay out like the answer to these questions. What do you do best? Where do you add the most value? What resonates with you most? What do you love doing? What are the market needs for what you offer? And what are your distinct interests and strengths? So this is the point where we're going to take 5 minutes or so just to answer these questions. And I'm going to do it with you guys just to test my brand.
Well, I have a quick question on number 5. So
yes.
What are the market needs for what you offer? Since I don't have a market, or I don't know what market I want to get into, do I just skip that question?
You could skip that question, or you can hypothetically say, it could be design, because you mentioned graphic design, or just pick one if you want and see, if I was going to that, what would I be able to offer? Or you could skip it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's do like 5 or 6 minutes here to think about those questions. And Ross, if you're still listening, what do you do best? Where do you add value? What resonates most with you? What do you love doing? What are the market needs for what you offer, if you know that? And what are your distinct interests and strengths? So go ahead and think through those things for a few minutes, and we'll get back. One more minute.
I'm almost done, just finishing it off.
Cool. Yeah, good.
I think I have what you would say a branding statement, but I'm not entirely sure.
All right, so well, these just answer the questions. We haven't built the branding statement yet. All you have to do is answer the questions. So,
okay. Well, is it okay if I didn't answer like 1 through 5, but I just put them all together like somehow?
Sure. Let's see what you got.
I said I strive when it comes to communication and teamwork. Some of my values are working well under pressure, being organized, being a trustworthy person, helping others when they are stuck, whether in the work environment or outside of.
Great. Okay, so we're going to refine that further. So this is good. So my suggestion is, yeah, go through after this and just see if you can't elicit all the answers to these questions, just to like, so you have a good body of content that you can kind of massage and, you know, kind of like create a single sentence or two out of that. So it's a good start. Excellent start. So let me just share with you my answers. Is that okay?
Yeah, please. Okay. 100%.
So what do you do best? So I said, helping people understand what they want and how to achieve those things. 2, where do you add most value? I said, moving people past their limiting beliefs and to tap their inner knowing and wisdom so they can gain confidence and clarity, right? So I'm just answering the questions directly. What resonates with you? I said helping others tap their potential and bring their creative genius to the world, right? I love doing that, right? That really feels good. What do you love doing? Is kind of the same question. Helping myself and other people learn more about themselves and enable them to use all of their talents and abilities. Next one, what are the markets you offer? So for me, it's huge. I know that 70% of employees, according to Gallup, are disengaged with their work. Huge amount of the population just don't even love what they do. So why? Well, because they were told to do this, or they couldn't decide, so they just took this job, or it was for the money, or whatever else like that. Nobody's ever done the work that you're doing here. And so there's a lot of people that need to do the work. And once they do, they'll probably figure out where they need to be. And then the last question, what are your distinct interests and strengths? I said teaching, compassion, organization, coaching, creating structure, making things more efficient, streamlining. So I just want to give those as an example of all the things. So now I've got a lot of content to use, right? So I can do something about passion or creating structure, or helping people, or moving past limiting beliefs, gaining clarity, gaining confidence. So I got a lot of stuff that I can now work with. So I think what you got is great. Just expand it a little bit more.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about, just going through the questions, because you'll get a more honest answer out of each question.
Yes.
But what I wanted to ask is, you said a sentence or two. How would you start off your sentence for your branding?
We're gonna get to that. Okay. Right now we're just doing content generation.
Okay.
And we're just like getting think of it, we're gathering the bricks to build your house.
Right.
So I want a whole bunch of bricks so that when we stack them, it could be stones because we need to fit them in. That's a stone house. Some will be big, some will be small, some will be flat, some will be round. And so then all the cement is just the filler words.
Okay.
You do this and this for this, right? And then we're going to build those blocks into something, or the bricks or the stones into this branding house, which is like, there it is, right? And then you can show people, this is my house.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Sounds good. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So next part of this exercise is I want you to identify your keywords. And you can glean these from your test results, your assessment test results, from job descriptions you've seen that seem interesting. You can look at bios from other people on LinkedIn or company websites or whatever else like that. You can get the words that others have used to describe you. Again, if you're talking to somebody, say, hey, what words would you use to describe you? What words would you use to describe yourself? Again, your perception, their perception, and we'll figure out all the words that really resonate with you. Use strong action verbs and descriptive adjectives. Nothing dull like, I oversee. I'm, I'm responsible for. It's like, they're flat, man. They don't really tell me anything about you. And then keep a running personal lexicon. And so what that looks like is something like this. So I sent you a job search toolkit, both Ross and Kazra sent you today.
Got it, yeah.
Mark and Michael, I think, already have it. And basically it's the fourth tab over, and it says lexicon. And all I want you to do is I want you to start logging the words that resonate with you best professionally, right? Because now we're talking about your branding, so it's gonna be professional. And so I wouldn't put something like, joyful. You wouldn't write that on a resume or tell somebody that in an interview. You might if for a certain position, but unlikely. So this person actually alphabetized them. She's really took this to heart. And I was like, wow, this is like one of the best lists I've ever seen. And so she says stuff like abstract thinking, accountable, adaptable, articulate. And then she says phrases too: assessing stakeholder perceptions regarding problems, assessing stakeholders' perceptions, breaking down complex problems into understandable components, right? So there's phrases too that you can use. And as you see, she's put some thought into this.
You put a lot.
Yeah. And you can borrow from this too if you want. I'll send it to you. But I can give you another skills list or whatever else. So you could go to Google and say what are key skills or whatever else, and you just cherry pick, right? And don't take.
Can we add?
Go ahead.
Sorry. I said, can we add on like throughout, like?
Absolutely. This is a living document, right? It doesn't have to be done in one sitting. Like you might be talking to somebody, you might use a word, oh my God, I gotta add that to my lexicon, right? So think of this as a personal thesaurus of you. So It is all of the words that you can think of that would describe you. And again, we don't have a lot of choice. If you're only using 5 or 10,000 in your vocabulary, what are the ones that really, really resonate, that really capture who you are, what you do? So I'm gonna give a couple minutes right now to just start to log what those words are that already, without having to think too much, that describe your profession. So go ahead and take a few minutes and we'll jump back on.
Sounds good.
Give it another minute.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
No worries. Tell me if you need more.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna steal from her list too.
I took a couple from hers. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you know what? I will. I can send this to you.
Yeah, she has a lot. Like the phrases as well are very,
Yeah.
very good to borrow.
Download. So let's take a copy and then I'll send it out to you guys, or I'll put it up.
I think I have enough to be able to share.
Okay, good. All right, so give me 1 second. Let me just download this.
Sure.
And then I'll send this to you, because then you can cherry pick from this as well. So this is fantastic. All right, go ahead.
So I put honest, organized, trustworthy, observant, genuine, ambitious, courageous, energetic, clever, tough, open-minded, motivated, friendly, and hardworking.
Awesome. Love it. Perfect. And then just keep adding to it, like over time, right? So that'd be awesome.
And then I should move these to the Excel sheet.
Put them there, or wherever. If you want to keep them in a separate sheet, that's fine. The reason for the job search toolkit is to keep everything in a centralized place.
Yeah.
And we'll go over that in more detail, but the tabs are pretty intuitive in terms of what to do. Like the first tab, you go through and you highlight all of the interesting business sectors. The second tab, I think, has your target companies where you're going to evaluate. Second tab, I think. Then the third tab is like your roles that you're interested in, how to evaluate them. Then the lexicon tab, and then all the other ones are kind of like logging different activities. Okay, so let's jump back into the branding statement. All right, so here are the key ingredients. We're going to keep it short. We're going to convey a simple idea or benefit, right? It's not like I do this and this and this and this. It's like, what is like the core value? And then, we can build out from there. Be specific. Be sure your claim is believable and how you're actually going to support that if somebody asks you about it. Avoiding cliche, jargon, stuff that's really common. If you can't make it memorable, and that's going to come through the strong action verbs and adjectives and adverbs. And stick to your messaging over all the mediums that you're going to put out there. So like we said, the resume, LinkedIn profile, professional dossier, all that stuff, it's going to be like, that's going to be the theme. So the challenge, to be clear, is that, if you were looking at yourself from an employee, say, so what? If you ask that question, it'd be like, it should answer that. How is that of value? So if that branding statement doesn't give that so what or that value, then you probably need to do a little more work on it. So let's give an example of a before and after. So this guy's like, I'm an operations executive. I'm looking for a position with P&L responsibility for multi-unit operations at a director or VP level. Okay, pretty straightforward. I'm like, yeah, I get what you want. It's more about what that person wants rather than what you're giving to me. Pretty flat and not too exciting. So after working on it, it's like, I'm a strategic executive leader who improves operation results in underperforming arenas, that positively impacts financial markets or financial results, and make customer satisfaction a point of differentiation. That changes. It's got a lot more exciting words. I got a lot more description of who this person is. All that.
You froze on my screen, so what, I couldn't hear you, or I still can't hear you. Okay, now I can.
Okay.
Yeah, you froze for like a solid 30 seconds.
Sorry.
No worries.
All right. For those who missed that, just look at the before and after. So the before is I'm an operations executive. I'm looking for a position with P&L responsibility for multi-unit operations at a director level or VP level. Boring. What's in it for him or her? Not what's in it for me, the hiring manager. So after reworking it, it's I am a strategic executive leader who improves operation results in underperforming arenas. I positively impact financial results and make customer satisfaction a point of differentiation. Much more exciting, much more what's the value and who that person is, right?
Right.
All right, so let's look at some other examples. And you should read through this, like engineering. I'm a creative engineering executive who transforms science into commercial reality. My passion is to harness the power of biotechnology to improve environmental sustainability. Pretty clear. So maybe for somebody in supply chain, they might say, I'm a results-oriented logistics distribution professional, exceptionally skilled at reducing costs, enhancing customer service, while continually improving processes. Again, I get pretty clear what this person is and what they do. That's what they do, right? And the company may not need that. Great, he's going to go find a company that does. Again, if you're a cobbler, you're not going to go try and sell shirts. You're going to go and sell shoes. So this is what you're selling. This is you. This is your value. So for leadership, I'm an innovative business leader who creates practical and powerful learning solutions to help business work smarter. I call it learning at the speed of need. This guy gives himself a little quote about how he describes himself, right?
Yeah.
Next one.
That's the motto, right? That's like his slogan.
It's a slogan, right? Exactly. And it's a customized slogan for what you offer. And it's going to be memorable, right? That's the guy that helps with learning at the speed of need, right? And it's like, that's kind of cool. You know, it's like, you know, he's thought about it. He knows who he is or she is, and that they solve a problem. Yeah. All right. Next one is I'm a regional vice president or general manager with a passion for growing the business by capturing market share and increasing revenue. This is all about what he can help you do, or she. I keep saying he. It's like I was going to say she from now on. It's all about what she can do for you. I guess I could say they too. I don't know.
Yeah. To make it easy, just put them all together.
Next one. This person at a high level. I'm a CEO recognized as catalyst for growth, transformation, and delivering double-digit revenue and profit growth. That's got growth in there twice. I would change that, right? So it's a little more. You got only so many words. You don't want to double up on those. Sales. I'm a dynamic global and sales and marketing executive who drives rapid, profitable growth through strategic sales and marketing initiatives while streamlining processes and reducing costs. IT. I am a highly adaptable systems engineering manager, expert at solving systems level embedded programming and firmware problems. Okay, so that's above my head, but somebody probably gets them.
Right there with you.
And pharmaceutical, I'm a driven senior director known for solving key organizational problems to build successful drug discovery departments. Hey, if I'm looking for somebody to build a successful drug discovery department, I know this is my person, right? So that would be like, yeah, we should talk. All right, so we're gonna do this next, but let's go back and take your branding statements you have right now and see if you can massage it a little bit more. Take some of your keywords, throw them in there, and see if we can't come up with something that's a little more, you know, tailored. So I'll give you a couple minutes to do that. I'm gonna work on it myself. Actually, I'm gonna go back to my LinkedIn profile to see what I wrote, because I think that's my branding statement. So I'm gonna go over there.
The question I asked you a couple minutes ago for how we start or how you would start a branding statement. Is I strive, like, because I have I strive right now. Is that okay? Like, should I just keep it at that?
I strive is a little bit of like, yeah, I don't do it, but I try to. So I would say I am. You see a lot of you say I am, I'm.
Yeah. Oh, so, yeah.
I want to see if they all did that. I am. They're all I am. I am is
will change.
I am is a really powerful, it's probably two of the most powerful words in the English language, because it tells somebody, tells the universe, tells yourself, this is who I am, right? And when you tell somebody who you are, that most people believe you.
That's true.
You know, if you say I'm smart, they go, okay, he's probably smart. I'm shy. Oh, he's shy. And so be really clear, because if you strive, it's like, well, I don't always make it, but once in a while I do. So
That's true.
it's not as powerful as I am.
Okay.
So let's start with
Appreciate that.
yeah, or I coach, or I help, or I mentor, or I this is something you do, or am, or are. This is the person you are. So move back. Actually, I'm gonna give you put the samples back up. Want to give it a go?
Yeah.
All right, what do you got?
So I changed it to I am a motivated, organized, and observant person who excels in communication skills and teamwork. Some of my values are working well under pressure, being courageous, a trustworthy person, and a person who brings energy when needed while helping people out when they feel stuck.
Cool. Awesome, man. All right, so this is fantastic. You got a whole bunch of stuff in there. It's a little generic right now, but that's fine because you're not exactly sure where you're gonna point that. So I think this is a great starting point. And now let's use that to go forward and start testing it. Like, does your brand statement capture the essence of the value you offer? Will your target audience understand the language you've used? I'd say yes. Are you communicating one simple idea? That you might need to tweak a little bit more because there's a lot of ideas in there about what you do and what you can offer. But I think that gets tailored as we work on this some more.
Right.
Will it stand out? In other words, is differentiate you from the competition. I think we're going to add some more zing to yours. A couple more words that are like, oh wow, this guy is, and maybe even a slogan or a motto or something else like that. Where it's just like
right now it's a bit generic, right? I feel like
and that's fine. Like that's why I said where you are in the point. All of this is the second
You're
call.
right. Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's all good, right? It's going to get more and more focused and defined as you do more of these exercises. So you're going to come back and say, oh yeah, I need to change that word out, or I need to cut that word out.
Got it.
Or you add one. I don't know. Okay, so are you using specifics rather than vague words or generalizations? So again, we talked about that, and we're going to make it more sharp. We're going to sharpen it a little bit, but you've got the theme. And does your branding statement help your audience choose you in a cluttered marketplace? Like, would it make you stand out? You sat there and talked to, everybody gave their branding statement in a line. Would yours be like, that's the guy we want to talk to? And then, just try out your messaging with your trusted colleagues. Don't go to your family on this one, because this is business related. So I would, if you work with somebody or a friend who's kind of best business mentor or something else, like, try it out.
Okay.
All right. Because today, just by doing this work while you're doing it, I came up with a new word, right? And I'll show you on my LinkedIn. So I mentor business professionals who feel stuck to gain career clarity, build compelling brands, get desired interviews, and land fulfilling, financially rewarding job offers. I'm missing the word purpose driven. Like, it's like, that's what we're doing. It's like, I'm doing this on purpose. So I need to work in the word purpose driven in this. And it's simply because I'm doing the work that you're doing right at the same time. Cool. All right. So questions about this, about the process, what you're going to work on next?
No, because at first I was like, I don't know how this will all tie into what we want to ultimately achieve, but I see it. It makes sense now while we're doing the work and the exercises. So yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, we got to get you directed first, because all the work, we could do all the work, and all of a sudden you get to the point where you're like, okay, I know, and I'm ready to start sending out resumes and interviews. Like, oh, but wait, I don't really want to do that. It doesn't really align with purpose. It doesn't really capture what my brand is all about, which is what problems I love to solve and what I can do the best with and help you with. So
that's a good one, actually. Let me add that to my list. Problem solving. That's a good one.
Yeah. What problems do you love to solve? And we're going to, believe it or not, that is exactly what we're going to talk about next Thursday.
That's next Thursday. You say, okay, next week.
Next Thursday. And what we're going to do is go through a deceptively simple template that's like, what problems do you solve? What are the solutions you bring? What are the benefits to the organization, company? What are the skills and abilities that you're exercising during that problem solution? So we're going to go through that problem solution and figure out what benefits you bring and what your key skills are.
Perfect.
And then we'll go through, we'll create a personal executive summary. This is like going to sum up all the work we've been doing. Like, this is the problems I solve, who I solve them for, what the value proposition is, and all that good stuff. We're going to look at your resume. We look at your LinkedIn profile. We're going to build a networking brief, which is really cool to help you network with people. We're going to build a professional dossier, which will help companies see what your value is beyond your resume and cover letter. We could do a skills mind map, which shows me all the skills and abilities that you have mapped out graphically, which is really cool. Do the 4-tier branding statements in terms of what you're going to say to people in different situations. So we're doing the baseline stuff right now to get to those things.
Okay, and that's all, that's what we're going to go through for next Thursday, or just the Thursdays in general?
Correct. That's the Thursday track, right? And so on the Tuesday track, it's more like, what's the vision, the passions, the goals, the missions, the purpose, and all that stuff. So that's like the philosophical side, if you will, and this is the tangible side. Got it.
Yeah, sounds good. I like it.
Awesome, man. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Get stuck anywhere, so you want me to take a look at something, just email it to me. Happy to help. And then we'll see you on Tuesday.
I actually have one quick question. It doesn't have to do with this, but for my one-on-one meeting,
yes.
Like, at one point do you think is best for my first one? Because I don't want to do it too early or too late.
Right.
Like,
do it when you have enough where you feel like, I need to get some feedback, and it's not just one or two things, right? So,
okay.
Do it when you feel like you want some tailored feedback. It's like, let's deep dive into some of this stuff.
Got it. Oh yeah. So, okay, I got it. Makes sense. Thank you.
All right, man. Have a great almost weekend.
You too.
And we'll see you next week. And again, feel free to reach out if you get stuck anywhere, guys.
Will do. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you, Mark. Bye.
Most welcome, Ross. Bye.